Hi, I'm Alison Mott. Welcome to my 5th writing workshop for the Royal Voluntary Services Virtual Village Hall. Many thanks to those of you who've messaged to say how much you're enjoying these workshops. That's really good to hear. So today's activities are going to be on the theme of winter festivals, and I'm going to use the Festival of Christmas in my prompts. But if you don't celebrate Christmas, that's fine. Just substitute it for a festival that you do follow, or an event that you celebrate regularly. Many of the prompts are related to family and memories of celebrating festivals in the past. And so any festival will do, really. Any family gathering would do. Could be birthdays, anything. It's worth mentioning here that any of the pieces that you write don't have to be true life stories or memories. You could use the prompts to write fiction, made up stories, anything you like, really. Made up characters, they don't have to be you. I have several people in my writing groups who prefer to write fictional pieces, and that's fine. Not everybody likes telling non-stop stories about themselves like I do. Anyway, so if you have paper, pen, laptop or something to record your ideas on if you're doing it orally, let's get started. So the first activity I'm going to get you to do, as usual, is a warm-up activity to get your creative muscles working from a standing start. And the topic I picked is Christmas shopping, getting ready for Christmas. So, timer, if you've got one, 7 minutes on this one, let's be harsh. Ticking clock in the corner, keeping you at it and forcing you to just write the first quick ideas that come out. 7 minutes, create a list of everything that comes into your head when I say the phrase Christmas shopping. 7 minutes, go. So how did you get on? Did you get a good list of ideas about Christmas shopping? I'm going to read mine. I got about 20, 30, maybe 30. And you're going to get an idea of how I feel about Christmas shopping from this. I tend to go out on the one day when it's too late to not go. But here you go. Christmas shopping. Panic buying, Black Friday, too many people. Bargain hunters, Christmas windows, presents, wrapping paper, gifts, Christmas cards, complimentary gift tags. City streets packed, bustle, elbows, tired feet, credit card, carrier bags, aching arms. Empty shelves, extended opening, Sunday opening, car parks full, frayed tempers, parking tickets, Christmas lists, empty purse, card rejected, frazzled parents, bored children, screaming toddlers hiding in displays, stop for coffee. Decorations, jammed lifts, red and green and gold, sparkling signs, toy shops, sales already, bells, Christmas carols, fake snow, tinsel, baubles, plastic trees, no idea what to buy, ribbons, decadence, countdown, expense. So they were the quick things that I came up with on the topic of Christmas shopping. Now, I've got quite a good list there. Actually, I quite like the flow of this. I think with a bit of tweaking, I could turn this into a list poem that if I rearrange the journey of some of those, the journey of going out shopping and the conclusion, worrying about the expense and the tiredness of it. I get to the end of my shopping usually, and I have the feeling that people will just have what I've given. I get so tired that I just end up buying, for some people, any old thing from tiredness. So anyway, yes, I could turn that into a decent list poem, I think. Or I could pick out elements of it and turn them into stories. The Screaming Toddlers Hiding in Displays is based on a real event. So I could write the memory of that shopping trip with a screaming toddler who was hiding in the 90s. Or I could just not do anything with it. We talk about play and throw away. It could just be something that was a music thing to keep us occupied for a minute. We'll put it away and do nothing with it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed doing that. And be with you in a minute for activity 1. So the topic of Christmas is a really big one. And in jotting ideas down for prompts that I could give you, I've come up with too many to use in a short online workshop. More about that later. But the ones that I will be using are ones I've used with a writing group of mine, and that's so that I can read some of the pieces that people have written to give you an idea of things that you could create. Before we do that, though, I'd like you to have a really good think about the topic of Christmas, or if you're thinking of a different festival or family event, that particular event and what it means to you, right from getting ready for it through to the time that it's happened and you're looking back on it afterwards, and even that family event through the years as you remember it. So I'm going to get you to stop in a minute and create another list, or a flow chart, perhaps. It's whatever you like to do. Going right back before Christmas shopping, going back to preparing for that event. You're sitting down at some point in the year, whenever it's your usual routine to do that, sitting down, thinking ahead to Christmas and getting ready for it and the tasks you're going to have to do to prepare for it. So, for instance, this is something I've done in the past to try and help me get ready for Christmas. But also, traditionally, there are points in the year and festivals even that were part of the tradition of getting ready for Christmas. So a friend of mine follows Stir Up Sunday when she makes her Christmas pudding, and there's a procedure that she follows as part of Stir Up Sunday. It's quite an old tradition that some people do. Members of my family have a date prior to Christmas when they make the cake, a particular number of months before Christmas when they make the cake, and so on. From that point onwards, when you first begin getting ready for Christmas, what would be the tasks that you would need to think of to get up to Christmas and the point beyond? What is the routine? So I'm not going to ask you to time this one because there's quite a lot of steps here to think about. So if you switch off the video for a short while and begin with the first point in the year when you start to think about Christmas and the steps you take up to Christmas and beyond when you're dismantling after it, what are those tasks? And just list them. Just list as many as you can remember. And I'll see you shortly. So you will have some jottings of a routine pre-Christmas, up to Christmas and maybe beyond. And it's up to you whether you decide to develop any of these into memories and stories or pieces of fiction. But I would encourage you to look back through them and choose which are the strongest themes for you in that list. If you decide that you do want to write up the memories, maybe for your family or for posterity, think of things that a modern reader wouldn't know. Traditions that are no longer current in the modern world, they often make the strongest stories. They have a real draw to readers, real interest for readers, particularly stories of people in our past. People in our past make the strongest stories, and our families particularly love hearing them. I'm going to give you some writing prompts which will fit into that list, hopefully, and pick out 2 or 3 different themes. So, festival decorations, Christmas tree decorations in my case, and their importance in helping us to celebrate and creating atmosphere. So, do you have decorations for your Christmas? And what are they? Have they changed over time? Were they different in your childhood to the type that you can buy or put up now? For us, the Christmas tree, very important. What type do you have? If you have a tree, do you have a real tree? Or is it an artificial tree? Is it green or a different colour? Has the type of tree you use changed over the years? There's certainly fashions for trees have changed drastically since the time I first set up home and had a tree myself. Do you have traditions about when you put the tree up and how you put it up? There's a particular date. If you're writing about the tree, you could describe your tree and what it looks like. It's really good to have sights and sounds and smells in a piece of writing. If that tree could look about the room, what would it see? What would the scene in the room that you place your tree be from the tree's point of view? And there's also a tradition of stories of the things on a tree coming alive. Do you have particular objects on the tree? Our Christmas tree, we would buy our children decorations every year, so we ended up with a collection of decorations from across the years, one for each of us that go on the tree. And I have some decorations from my parents' tree from when I was a child. Very different to the sort that you buy now. Anyway, so there you go. Writing prompt. Decorations, making decorations, decorating your living space, decorations in the town you live in, Christmas decorations. This is a piece by Jenny, who writes about making Christmas decorations in 1946. We as children enjoyed making paper decorations. Coloured chains that crisscrossed the front room and small pieces of cotton wool threaded onto cotton and dangled down from the top of the window to look like snow. We also made paper lanterns to hang at intervals from the chains that stretched from the picture rail to the central ceiling light. And here's a piece by Jean, who's written about decorations amongst other memories of Christmas. Reminiscence. Going out at night as a small child in the dark and the fog, catching a bus into the city centre to see the crib scene in Slab Square and wondering if they were real. Watching my grandma making the Christmas pudding, putting it in suet, raisins, sultanas, cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice and 6p pieces, and tasting most of them. Finding the hidden chocolate Santas in the attic and eating them, and getting smacked and sent to bed early. Watching the neighbours decorate their houses with homemade paper chains, candles and wreaths on the door made from holly, ivy, spruce, ferns and fir. Mistletoe, if you could get it. Getting excited about Santa coming, but not quite believing he would visit our house, as I was told I was too naughty. Being genuinely excited at finding a stocking on my bedpost with an orange, a pencil, notepad and shuttlecock and ball. Wondering why nobody was outside playing or just walking about. Thinking that Christmas was better than most days. Okay, so the next prompt then is to think about Christmas presents and your routines and traditions about Christmas presents or the presents for your family events that you're thinking about? Did you ask for particular things? Did you write a list? Did you write a letter to Santa? Did you just wish for something and hope you'd get it? Did you get what you were given and be grateful about it? Were you a stocking family, a pillowcase family, or did you have a pile near the tree? And did you have a particular time of day when those presents were opened? If they were stockings, did you open them before you came downstairs? Or were you someone who had presents under the tree and had to wait until a particular time of day, after lunch or early evening, before you opened them? Did you open them all together? Or was it one mad free-for-all where everyone ripped off the paper to see what was inside? In thinking of that, write a list of what you would wish for a Christmas present. It would be a wish for you as a child then, a wish for now, a modern wish for what you'd like for Christmas. And that could be real things, or it could be used as a metaphor for something you'd like to see in the world. And loosely, I'm basing this on a Christmas wish list for a stocking. There are lots and lots of traditions of poems about Christmas stockings, including one by Eleanor Fairjohn, which is a list. We seem to be writing lists today. From a 1960s Christmas, Mike writes, a wish list Christmas stocking for Santa. Wind-up clockwork car, dolly mixture sweets in a cellophane twist, how-to book of some kind, pair of socks, uninteresting, biro that has 4 colours, small torch, miniature snakes and ladders, Ludo, etc. Beatles plastic wig, 1963, very unconvincing. Joke snap chewing gum, fart cushion, book of Psalms. Wendy writes, things my 10-year-old self wanted in her stocking but didn't get. A dress not made, oh so skillfully, by my mother. The Scout in Wagon Train, Clint McCulloch. A magic cream for spots. A 4-leaf clover. A ban on Boxing Day TV adverts, which meant that Christmas was all over. For the final activity, I'm going to ask you to think about Christmas and its meaning. And that would be its meaning in Christianity, its religious significance, its importance, the story of Jesus' birth, the importance of that in Christianity and Christian faith, but also its secular importance, its importance in Western culture, civilization, and whether that has changed over time. If you think back to the stories of Dickens and the Christmas message that they shared, and whether that message is still current, how it sits with the events that happen in the world today. And you could pause the video and write a list about the different meanings and its meanings to you personally, to your family, how it acts as a marker across the year for our memories. Anything that comes to mind in thinking about Christmas and its meaning. And you could use the things that you write, things that you think about in a piece of writing to answer the question, what is the meaning of Christmas? Or in any way that you like. I'm going to share a poem that was written by Jenny in my writing group, who wrote on the theme of hope, Christmas as a sign of hope. Hope. The stars look down upon the earth, a place much changed since the holy birth. There is little peace and not much goodwill, with religion fueling aggression still. The 10 Commandments seem forgotten, warring factions of the devil begotten. When chosen leaders sought spiritual strength, they urged the people to pray at length to appease the gods with gifts and penance, praise and thanksgiving with song and dance. Seasonal replenishment of food and new birth made man delight in life on this earth. People have struggled over thousands of years to survive by invention, by sweat and by tears. Travel and learning has opened men's eyes so that people now question, is religion all lies? It's a means of controlling the masses, they say, while new technology now holds sway. Our multicultural world and differing beliefs make Christmas a good time to bury our griefs, celebrating this time of loving and giving with family and friends, rejoicing by living, acknowledging, like our ancestors, this new birth, wishing peace and goodwill throughout the earth. So I hope you found those prompts useful and they managed to spark a bit of creativity for you. You got some bits of writing done. As I said earlier, there were so many different ways we could have gone with those prompts. Christmas is a topic we revisit every year in the writing group in lots and lots of different ways. There were far too many prompts to do today. But if you would like to see some of those other prompts, if you go across to my website, www.alisonmott.com, I will upload them as a downloadable document that you can work through and carry on writing memories and stories about Christmas. And that's it. And thank you for joining me today, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye.